8 essential tools to stockpile for any emergency situation in 2025. Picture this. It's late, the world outside is quiet, and you're finally winding down. Then, boom, the power's out. No internet, no lights, just total darkness. Now what? Or maybe a storm rolls in, slams your town to a halt, and suddenly you're cut off, no supplies, no way to get help. Here's the cold, hard truth: survival's not about luck. It's about preparation. And if you're not ready, you're already at a disadvantage. Today, we're breaking down 8 essential tools you need to stockpile to handle any emergency in 2025. We're not talking about the obvious stuff like flashlights or canned beans. Basics not going to cut it. These tools are smart, practical, and downright life-saving. Some of them you've probably never even thought about. One of them might just save your life when things turn south. Here's why you'll want to stick around. By the end, you won't just know what you need, you'll know why these tools matter and how to use them when it counts. Because disasters don't follow a schedule, and you don't get extra time to prepare. You're either ready or you're not. Hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss this. Number 1, the first aid kit. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, I already know this one, hear me out. Most people have what they call a first aid kit, but trust me, it's barely scratching the surface. What are we talking about here? A sad box with a few band-aids, some dried-up antiseptic wipes, and maybe tweezers if you're lucky. That's not going to cut it when emergencies hit hard. If you want to survive a crisis, you'll need a fully stocked, serious first aid kit. Picture this for a second. Medical help isn't coming. Maybe the roads are flooded or blocked. Hospitals? Overrun? Pharmacies? Shut down. And there you are, staring at some minor injury that could spiral into a major problem if you don't take charge. What you need is a first aid kit that's not just convenient, it's life-saving. What should this kit include? Start with the basics. Sure, bandages in multiple sizes, gauze pads, adhesive tape, antiseptic wipes, and ointments. Add a thermometer to monitor fevers. But don't stop there. Think bigger. You need items that can help deal with real injuries, trauma-level situations. This means including a tourniquet. Yes, a tourniquet. If someone's bleeding severely, this could mean the difference between life and death. Adding a CPR face shield is another must. Believe me, if you're the one responsible for saving someone's life, you don't want to hesitate for even a second. Now, here's where things get really overlooked: personal medications. Does someone in your family rely on daily prescriptions? Diabetes meds? Heart pills? Inhalers? Make sure you stock a 2-week minimum supply for every critical medication. You don't want to be scrambling during a pharmacy shutdown, trust me. Also, think about over-the-counter essentials like pain relievers, antacids, or anti-allergy meds. Allergic reactions can sneak up on you, and not having antihistamines around could escalate a manageable situation into a crisis. But it's not enough to just have a kit. You need to maintain it. Go through it regularly, and I mean actually go through it. Check the expiration dates on every single item. Expired antiseptic or pills won't do much good when things go south. Your place, restock, and constantly adapt it to your needs. And yes, that's non-negotiable. Here's the blunt truth: life doesn't give you redo buttons. You either prepare now or race against the clock later. Emergencies never give you a heads up, and the last thing you want is to be caught off guard without the means to care for yourself or your loved ones. A first aid kit isn't just another item on your checklist. It's literally the first line of defense between someone you care about and a preventable tragedy. Number 2, the emergency radio. Don't underestimate this one. An emergency radio might seem old school, maybe even unnecessary in the age of smartphones. But here's a reality check for you. When the power's out, cell towers fail, and the internet is a distant memory, your shiny smartphone becomes nothing more than an expensive paperweight. That's when an emergency radio isn't just useful, it's a lifeline. Why is it a big deal? Because in any emergency, floods, hurricanes, wildfires, name the disaster, staying informed isn't optional. It's essential. Knowing when a storm will hit or which evacuation routes are open could literally mean the difference between safety and catastrophe. And here's the kicker: not all radios are built the same. If you buy a cheap one that fails when you need it most, you've wasted your money and, worse, risked your safety. Enter the emergency radio built for survival. A solid pick is something like the Esky emergency radio, which nails what really matters. This isn't just a regular radio with a survival sticker slapped on it. It delivers NOAA weather alerts and connects you to emergency broadcasts, even when you're in the middle of nowhere. But here's why it's a real game changer: the multiple power options. When your day's into a blackout, you're going to need a radio that keeps running. The Esky comes with a hand crank, a solar panel, and USB charging capabilities. No batteries? No problem. You can still crank it up manually or place it in the sun. This isn't some gimmick, it's a lifesaver. The bonus? It doubles as a power bank to charge your phone in a pinch. That's not just handy, it's genius when all other forms of communication are down. And there's more. Think powerful flashlight, so you're not fumbling around in the dark, and compact portability for grabbing and going when time is short. And before you blow your money on some plastic gimmick calling itself an emergency radio, think about this durability. You need something tough, waterproof, shock-resistant, ready to face storms, mud, and the mess that comes with odd conditions. A flimsy device won't do you any favors when real disaster hits. Why does this matter now in 2025? Because extreme weather is no longer rare. It's almost expected. Hurricanes are stronger, wildfires spread faster, and blackouts last longer. You might think you can ride it out at home until help arrives, but the truth is, help may not get to you in time. You need to be self-reliant. That means staying informed on your own, relying on tools that work no matter what. An emergency radio might not be flashy, but trust me, when the lights go out and chaos reigns, you'll be glad you have it. Think of it as your silent partner in survival, keeping you connected, backed up, and one step ahead when it feels like everything else is falling apart. If you're serious about being prepared, make sure an emergency radio is at the top of your stockpile. Number 3, non-perishable food supplies. Look, when disaster strikes, food becomes a game of survival. Supermarket shelves, cleared out in hours. Roads, blocked. Supply chains, shattered. If you don't have a solid stockpile of food at home, you're setting yourself up for a harsh wake-up call. No one wants to be the person scrambling for bread in the chaos, so get ahead now. Here's the cold truth: stocking non-perishable food isn't just smart. It's Survival 101. First, canned goods are your best friend. Think beans, vegetables, soups, classic staples that last years without refrigeration. But don't make the rookie mistake of ignoring the details. Go for low-sodium or salt-free options where you can. Why? Because in an emergency, water might be in short supply and salty food will leave you thirstier than you can handle. If you're stocking canned meats, step it up. Grab nutrient-rich options like sardines or salmon. Not only are these packed with protein, but they also deliver omega-3s, which help keep your body functioning even under stress. This isn't just about calories, it's about staying strong when things hit the fan. Next, we've got dried goods, the backbone of any serious stockpile. Rice, oats, lentils, and pasta. These bad boys are cheap, calorie-packed, and built to last if stored right. But don't just grab anything off the shelf. It'd be strategic. Choose options like quick oats or instant rice that cook faster. Why? Because in a crisis, you don't want to waste precious fuel or water. You need meals that are quick, efficient, and keep you moving forward. And then there are energy bars, probably the most underrated lifesavers on this list. High-calorie, lightweight, and zero prep required. These little powerhouses keep you fueled, and when picked right, they hit all the bases with carbs, protein, and fat. Make sure they're balanced, though. This isn't the time for candy bars masquerading as survival food. Want to add some variety to your stash? Consider powdered milk and dried fruits. Powdered milk is clutch-packed with protein and calcium to keep your bones and muscles in the game. Dried fruits, on the other hand, give you natural sugars and fiber. Translation? Stable energy without the crash. Store them properly in airtight containers to keep them fresh longer. You don't want mold ruining your rations when you need them most. Here's the harsh truth: it's not enough to just buy any random non-perishables and call it a day. You need a selection that's smart, nutritious, and ready to fuel you through any challenge. And don't forget to track expiration dates. Cycle through your stock to ensure you're not relying on food that's expired or stale during a real crisis. At the end of the day, having sufficient non-perishable food supplies isn't just about filling your belly. It's about giving yourself the strength, energy, and resilience to handle whatever comes your way. Emergencies don't wait, so stop procrastinating. Stock your shelves now, and you'll thank yourself when the world decides to throw its next curveball. Number 4, portable power bank. All right, it's time to get real about one of the most underrated survival tools: portable power banks. Think about this. Right now, your phone is your everything. It's how you call for help, get emergency alerts, use GPS to evacuate, and even access vital survival tips if needed. But here's the catch. when the power goes out during an emergency, and your smartphone turns into a useless brick once the battery's dead. That's where a portable power bank steps in and becomes the hero you never knew you needed. First things first, capacity is king. Don't skimp here. A power bank with a minimum of 10,000 mAh is your baseline. That'll get you about 2 to 3 full phone charges, enough to last through short outages or emergencies. But if you're smart and planning ahead, you'll go bigger. A 20,000 mAh power bank or higher. Now we're talking real backup power. That's the kind of capacity that ensures your devices stay powered for days, not hours, when the lights go out for good. But power capacity isn't the only thing to care about. You need to think long-term. What happens if you've drained the power bank and there's still no electricity? That's where solar power banks shine, literally. The added solar charging feature means you're not completely screwed if you run out of juice. A few hours of sunlight could recharge your power bank enough to give your phone some extra life. It's not magic, it's survival. And then there's speed. Emergencies don't exactly provide you the luxury of time. Look for power banks with fast charge technology. You don't want to sit around waiting for eternity to get your device charged, especially when every second counts. A fast-charging power bank ensures your devices are back in action in no time at all. Skip this feature, and you'll regret it when you're stranded with a dead phone and a sluggish charger. Now, durability. If you're prepping for the worst, you can't rely on a delicate little gadget that falls apart when conditions get rough. Emergencies come with unpredictable chaos, storms, flooding, maybe even the need to pack up and run. Your power bank needs to keep up. Look for models that are rugged, waterproof, or at least splash-resistant. You need something that survives, even if you're wading through mud or caught in a downpour. Here's the bottom line. A portable power bank might not seem as dramatic or flashy as a first aid kit or emergency radio, but don't sleep on it. This small, often ignored device can single-handedly keep you connected to the outside world when things really start falling apart. Lose that connection, and you're on your own, literally. Number 5, the multi-tool. It's time to stop underestimating one of the most powerful, pocket-sized lifesavers you can own: a multi-tool. Picture this. It's chaos. You need to cut through a knotted rope, tighten a screw, open a stubborn can, or even carve a piece of wood. Time's ticking, and stress is high. Do you really want to waste time digging through a toolbox or improvising with whatever's lying around? Nope. That's where a multi-tool steps in, and quite honestly, it might be the most versatile thing you can carry. Here's the deal: a multi-tool is not just one gadget, it's an entire toolkit crammed into one compact, portable device. We're talking pliers, scissors, knives, screwdrivers, wire cutters, and sometimes even a bottle opener for when you finally get to take a break, if that's even an option. But if you're thinking you can grab any cheap multi-tool off the shelf and call it a day, think again. Not all multi-tools are made equal, and in an emergency situation, half-baked tools will only get you halfway out. Durability is the first thing to consider. Emergencies don't happen on sunny afternoons where you're sitting comfortably at a desk. You need a multi-tool that can take a beating, handle extreme conditions, and still come through for you. High-quality multi-tools, think stainless steel or aircraft-grade aluminum, are built to last. These aren't flimsy gadgets that snap the first time you use them. They're designed to endure harsh weather, rust, and heavy wear and tear. But here's where it gets interesting. Some multi-tools aren't just about the basics. For survival situations, there are options packed with extra features like saw blades for cutting branches or fire starters for, you guessed it, starting fires. Then there's the glass breaker, which can shatter a car window in split seconds. That's not just high-tech, it's life-saving. Imagine being trapped in a submerged or wrecked vehicle. A multi-tool might be your one shot at getting out alive. In 2025, where unpredictable events like supply chain breakdowns and devastating weather are practically the norm, self-sufficiency isn't just a skill, it's a necessity. A multi-tool keeps you prepared for minor repairs or split-second fixes when help isn't an option. Tighten that leaking faucet, cut through packaging, mend torn tents, or pry something loose. It's not just about convenience, it's about maintaining some sense of control when everything else feels out of your hands. Where should you keep it? Everywhere. Your car's glove compartment, your backpack, or even your pocket. Keep one within arm's reach because you never know when you're going to need it. Just make sure it's a model that fits your specific environment. If you live in hurricane-prone areas, lean toward multi-tools with blades for cutting through debris. If you're in cold climates, the fire starter becomes non-negotiable. Here's the bottom line: a multi-tool isn't just a cool gadget. It's a survival essential. Compact, tough, and loaded with functionality, it's a must-have for any emergency kit. Because when you're staring down an unpredictable world and need to get things done, this is the tool that'll have your back every single time. Number 6, portable water filtration system. All right, let's cut to the chase. Without clean drinking water, you're done. Period. You can survive weeks without food, but without water, you've got a few days tops. And if the water you're drinking happens to be contaminated, well, congratulations, you've just fast-tracked yourself to illness or worse. This is why a portable water filtration system isn't just a nice-to-have for emergencies, it's non-negotiable. Here's the thing about water. Right now, you probably take it for granted. You turn on the tap and there it is. But the moment disaster hits, that comfort evaporates. Maybe it's a natural disaster knocking out the infrastructure. Maybe a chemical spill taints the water supply. Or maybe it's a hurricane knocking sewage into rivers. Whatever the cause, clean water becomes a luxury. Don't be one of those people left wondering how to stay hydrated when the faucets run dry. Be prepared. A portable water filter is your lifeline, literally. These devices turn sketchy, contaminated water into something safe to drink. We're talking about filtering out bacteria, parasites, and even viruses in some cases. Man-made systems like the Life Straw or Sawyer Mini don't need electricity or batteries, which puts them miles ahead in an emergency when power is a pipe dream. They're lightweight, compact, and simple to use. Just stick it in the water source and drink or pump it into a bottle. It's that easy. Now, you might be wondering, is this really that important? Yes. Absolutely yes. Climate change is messing with water quality across the board. Floods, hurricanes, and other extreme weather events are becoming more common and wreaking havoc on water supplies. Entire neighborhoods have gone without safe drinking water for weeks. One good water filtration system could keep you and your family alive while others are lining up for handouts or worse, turning to unsafe sources like muddy rivers or stagnant puddles. But don't just grab any filter off the shelf. Pay attention to the specs. Get one with a long lifespan. Some models, like the Sawyer Mini, can filter up to 100,000 gallons of water. That's a game changer, especially if you're preparing for long-term emergencies. Choose something lightweight that doesn't require complicated assembly because you don't have time for DIY experiments when you're thirsty and desperate. You want a filter ready to go on day one, not something that needs a crash course to figure out. Bonus points if the filter attaches to common items like water bottles, hydration packs, or collapsible pouches. That portability makes it even easier to transport and use on the go. If you're living in a wildfire or flood-prone area, or if you just want peace of mind for whatever 2025 decides to throw our way, a portable water filtration system is priceless. The bottom line is this: clean water isn't a luxury, it's survival, plain and simple. Don't leave it up to chance. Invest in a high-quality portable water filtration system now, and you'll be ready to face whatever comes your way. Because when the world falls apart and water sources get sketchy, you'll be the one still standing strong, not doubled over from some avoidable illness. Number 7, flashlight and extra batteries. All right, listen up. When things go south and you're stuck in darkness, a flashlight isn't just handy, it's essential. Picture this. The power's out, you can't see 2 feet in front of you, and panic is creeping in. At that moment, a good flashlight isn't a tool, it's your lifeline. But don't make the rookie mistake of thinking any old flashlight will do. No, you need one designed to handle the chaos of an emergency, not some cheap gadget that gives out after an hour of use. First off, stop wasting time with outdated, dim flashlights. LED flashlights are where it's at. Why? They're insanely bright, super energy efficient, and last way longer than those ancient incandescent bulbs. If you're trying to light up an entire room or cut through a pitch-black, stormy night outside, LED is the only way to go. And here's a pro tip: lumens matter. The higher the lumens, the brighter the flashlight. Don't settle for something that lights up like a tiny candle when you need real visibility. Speaking of efficiency, the power source is a deal breaker. Sure, you can stick with disposable batteries, but what happens when you run out mid-crisis? Game over, that's what. Instead, go for a rechargeable flashlight, or even better, one with a solar-powered option. Rechargeable models give you endless usability with the right prep, and those with solar panels? Just leave it out in the daylight for a bit, and boom, you've got power again. When everything else fails, the sun has your back. Now, durability. Emergencies don't roll out a red carpet for you. They're messy, unpredictable, and often brutal. Your flashlight needs to handle the worst of it, whether that's rain, flood water, or accidental drops. Water-resistant or waterproof flashlights are non-negotiable, especially if you're in storm-prone areas. And impact resistance? Crucial. If a flashlight can't survive being dropped, it's useless when things get rough. You don't exactly get a redo when your only light source shatters on a concrete floor. All right, batteries. You can't overlook this. Stockpile extra batteries like your life depends on it, because honestly, it might. Regular alkaline batteries work in a pinch, but lithium batteries are the gold standard. They last way longer, handle extreme temperatures without a hitch, and are the best option for emergency storage. Trust me, you don't want to be stuck with dead batteries when the stakes are high. Here's where things get interesting: versatility. The best flashlights don't just light your way. Some come with bonus features like built-in radios or power banks to charge your phone. Imagine this: a powerful light that not only helps you see but also keeps you informed with weather updates or powers up your dying phone battery. That's not just convenient, it's a potential lifesaver when help is out of reach. Bottom line? Don't skimp on your flashlight. Get one that's durable, efficient, and comes ready for the chaos emergencies bring. Whether it's navigating your way out of a storm-damaged house, signaling for help, or simply keeping safe in the dark, the right flashlight is indispensable. Combine that with a stash of long-lasting batteries, and you're set. When the world goes dark, literally and figuratively, this simple tool can make all the difference. Plan ahead now, or be left quite literally in the dark. Number 8. Personal hygiene items. All right, here's the deal. Hygiene is not optional in an emergency, it's critical. When life goes sideways, personal hygiene is what keeps a manageable situation from spiraling into a full-blown health crisis. Yet, most people overlook it when building their emergency kits. Big mistake. If you think hygiene is just about staying fresh, you're missing the point. This is about survival. Picture this: you're stranded somewhere for days or even weeks. Running water? Gone. Medical help? Not available. The smallest cut or irritation can turn into a massive, dangerous problem if you're not staying clean. Infection, bacteria, and illnesses thrive in unclean conditions. Don't gamble with your health when things are already bad enough. It's time to stock up. First on the list, hand sanitizer and wet wipes. These are your MVPs when water is scarce. Forget fancy soaps, you need the basics. A good hand sanitizer with at least 60% alcohol content will kill germs where running water can't. Wet wipes? They're more than convenient, they're your makeshift shower. When you haven't had a real bath in a week, a pack of wet wipes can be a lifesaver for both hygiene and morale. For women, feminine hygiene products are an absolute must. Sanitary pads, tampons, or even menstrual cups, you choose what works, but make sure they're there. It's shocking how often these essentials are forgotten. Trust me, they're just as critical as food or water in an emergency kit. Comfort and health go hand in hand during a crisis. Next up, oral hygiene. Toothpaste and toothbrushes sound basic, right? Well, picture dealing with an oral infection in the middle of a disaster. Yeah, not fun. Keeping up with your oral hygiene isn't just about avoiding bad breath, it's about making sure you don't end up with something far worse. Pack extras. You'll thank me later. Now, one thing people rarely think about: trash bags. Seriously, don't skip this. They're not just for garbage. You can use them to safely contain waste, help organize supplies, or even create a makeshift barrier to keep your space sanitary. They're lightweight, cheap, and versatile. Stockpile them. And here's an underrated gem for your kit: a small bottle of bleach or disinfectant. With just a few drops, you can clean surfaces or even purify questionable water. This one addition can mean the difference between staying healthy and falling sick in a crisis. Just make sure to know the correct dilution ratios. Bleach is powerful stuff, but misuse can cause harm. Lastly, think about adding a few extras depending on your location or specific needs. Sunscreen, insect repellent, or even a comb can be surprisingly important in certain situations. Ultimately, your hygiene kit should be tailored to protect your health in the most challenging circumstances. Bottom line, hygiene isn't just about looking good, it's about staying alive. Germs, bacteria, infections, they don't care that there's a crisis. If you're not equipped to fight back, they'll win, turning a bad day into a catastrophic one. Don't wait until disaster hits to realize how much you need these essentials. In conclusion, preparing for an emergency situation in 2025 is all about foresight and having the right tools at your disposal. From reliable flashlights with long-lasting batteries to essential hygiene items, Each component of your emergency kit plays a critical role in survival. Whether it's enduring storms, power outages, or unexpected crises, having versatile and durable items like multifunctional flashlights and foundational hygiene essentials will help keep you safe and healthy. Remember, the key to effective emergency preparedness is not just what you pack, but how you plan to use it when the time comes. By equipping yourself with these indispensable tools, you're investing in your own safety and peace of mind. Don't leave your future to chance. Prepare now and face any emergency with confidence.